Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as Ivy Winter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. This is the 4th episode of my things to do at night in Disney World videos. It's my favorite time to be in the parks and just in Disney World in general. And so today we're gonna kick it off with Animal Kingdom. This is the last park that I've been covering. If you want to see the other ones, I'll link those somewhere around here. I also got a request to do top 5 things to do at night outside of the park, so that will be coming up after this one. But first, let's give Animal Kingdom its due, because Animal Kingdom might be my favorite park at night, and that's a really hard thing to choose because before that, Epcot was my #1. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. Around World Showcase, it still is. But Animal Kingdom, ever since they extended their hours a couple of years ago, because if you guys remember, back in the day, Animal Kingdom used to close around 5, 6 p.m. because of, well, the animals. And it was considered a half day to a 3/4 days park because that was all the time you had to even go there. So as they started to bring more reasons to go at nighttime, starting with Rivers of Light, the show out in the water, going into having the perpetual dusk so that you can do the safari at night, and now Pandora, which at night with the bioluminescence lights is amazing. There's so much more of a reason to go at nighttime, and honestly, it's absolutely beautiful. And if you haven't done it yet, please do. I only did it for the first time, I believe, last year, and kicked myself for how I had missed doing Animal Kingdom at night this whole time. So these are my top 5 things to do at Animal Kingdom at night, which is my favorite park in the evening. Number 1 is going to be Expedition Everest at night. It is a very different experience. So my first ride on Expedition Everest at night, I was just terrified because if you've been on the ride, you know that when you hit the drop, you start inside and then you go outside when you're going down the big drop. And when it's in the daytime, obviously it's bright daylight when you're going from one section to the other. But when I did it at nighttime, I could not tell where that drop was because it was so dark. I couldn't tell when I was going from inside the mountain to outside. And it was that much scarier because you just couldn't see it coming. As I've said in the past with some of these, it also always seems like roller coasters feel faster at night, so that's another plus. It's also just beautiful when you're going up that first lift and you can look out kind of to your right and see all of Animal Kingdom. It is gorgeous at night. So that in itself is a great experience, but I think it's just very different. It's a little bit scarier in the dark, and it was a lot of fun to do it that way. So I highly recommend, if you've done it only during the daytime, you should definitely ride Expedition Everest at night. It's gonna feel like a very different experience. The safari. So what they had done in recent years is use this special lighting that creates almost like this perpetual dusk is what they call it. So it looks like the sun is setting but isn't quite set. And the idea is that it would essentially trick the animals to be more active because they are usually more active at dusk and dawn. It's obviously a lot cooler at dusk and dawn than in the middle of the day. If you've ever done the safari like midday, especially in the Florida heat, you might notice you're not really seeing much of anything, or they're sleeping way in the back. And that's because, well, midday is when they all take their naps. It's too hot to be out and about. So the idea was, instead of having you in complete darkness in which you probably wouldn't see much of anything, they had this perpetual dusk lighting that's supposed to kind of make the animals feel like dusk is a longer period of time, and then you can go on the safari later at night. People have had mixed experiences with this. Some say that, those dusk safaris have given them the most active animals they've ever seen, some not so much, and I think that's kind of the luck of the draw with the safari. You don't know how active animals are gonna be. There's no guarantee that you're going to see certain animals or they're gonna get close or not, but I think it's a really neat thing to experience. I think the lighting is very interesting and really cool. And again, it's one of those things like Expedition Everest where if you've done it during the daytime, doing it at nighttime, it's just a very different experience, and so I think it's good to do at least once. But I would, experiment. See if going early in the morning versus doing this nighttime dusk, which is better. Do you see animals more at a specific time? It's always good to kind of roll the dice and see how that works out for you. Number 3 is actually probably my favorite thing. This is not in order 1 to 5, but I think this is probably my favorite thing on the list, and that's Pandora at night. It is breathtaking. I love it. I love that land so much as it is, but seeing it at night, there is something just so real about it, and walking through what's supposed to be this jungle in the dark and hearing the noises of animals and insects that are supposed to be living on Pandora off in the distance. You've got the bioluminescent lights everywhere, so they're on the ground, they're in the plants, in the trees. It is definitely dark. Like, some people complain that it's too dark, that they feel like you can't see a lot of the other detail. And this is true in a way. So again, a thing where I feel like you should experience it daytime and nighttime. Maybe you do Animal Kingdom afternoon to evening so you can see it in both ways, because yes, you're gonna lose seeing certain things at night because it is so dark, but it is really fascinating to see at night. I feel like it's just a little bit more, I don't know, just the ambience just feels stronger at night, and I really, really love it. I think it is absolutely beautiful. It doesn't really affect the rides because both rides are indoors, so those will be the same sort of experience, but there's also something about like having a Navi River journey, which takes place basically in a dark jungle, and then coming out of that into the dark jungle seems really, really cool. It seems a lot more cohesive. So I really love it, and I think it's worth going to. I think you can take fantastic photos too of that whole area. Number 4 is the Tree of Life Awakening shows. There are these cool projection shows that happen on the Tree of Life. And I think they happen, I want to say it's like every 15 minutes within the last couple of hours before park closing. It's kind of this neat thing to catch. They're a little different. I don't know how many there are, but every time I've caught it, it's been kind of different. And they play this music and they show these different natural scenes on the tree in these great animations, and it's just, it gives it something a little extra, you know? Animal Kingdom doesn't have a fireworks show. They do have Rivers of Light, which isn't on my list because I don't think it's that great. That's my honest answer. As a night show, I don't think it's so great, but I think the Awakenings projection is just something different. It's something interesting. It's really nice at the end of the night when you're leaving to kind of catch that before you go out. They're really, really cool. So I think it's worth taking the time before you leave at night to stand in front of the tree and see if you can catch one of those, because they're constantly playing them on a loop, and it's really, really neat to see them use the tree, which is the weenie of Animal Kingdom and the prominent landmark, and to actually use it in a different way aside from just being something to look at / housing. It's tough to be a bug. Now there's another thing it's used for, which is really cool. And number 5 is the Streetmosphere parties. Now they have them all day long, but at nighttime they're like really, really cool. There's actually this really cool one with these like light up costumes that's done over, I want to say it's the path when you get to the Tree of Life and you make a right going towards Dino Land USA and the Asia section on that side. There's an area where they do a lot of Streetmosphere stuff, and at nighttime that's really, really fun. But I've even just seen like the African band play at night, and it's just a different sort of vibe. I feel like people are like really into it at night. It's really fun. Again, just a very different perspective of these shows, and hearing that music and everything at night with the beautiful lighting. Like, oh my gosh, Animal Kingdom's lighting is gorgeous at night. That paired with the lighting and everything else is just really, really cool. So definitely catch the night Streetmosphere and bands and shows, because those are really, really neat, and they're a bit different from what you see during the daytime. So those are my 5 best things to do at Animal Kingdom at night. I'd love to know what you love to do at night in Animal Kingdom. Have you done Animal Kingdom at night yet? I would love to know in the comments below. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe, because I make videos every single week, and I love chatting with you guys. You guys have given me so many cool ideas and thoughts and conversations, and it's been super great. I appreciate every single one of you, and I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.